All right.
Right. Well, welcome to the Virtual Barbershop, mate. How have you been?
Thank you. Good. How you doing? I'm excited. Big fan.
Lockdown, so it's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
But where are you based?
I'm out of Florida, Southwest
Oh,
Florida.
Florida. Okay.
Cape Coral,
Okay.
Florida. Yeah, U.S.
Oh, nice. And
Mm-hmm.
how's it going over there?
Yeah, it's going, taking it day by day. We're on lockdown, so we're just doing the best we can. So, getting by. Yeah.
Yeah, like us all. Like us all.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Actually, today is the first day where we're kind of easing back into the real world again. So they're opening up restaurants here, and so
Wow.
slowly. Yeah.
Wow. Back to normal life, which sounds so weird, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
I might go to Chili's tonight. Who knows? I gotta.
Nice. Nice. I'll be thinking of you when I'm stuck in the house.
Oh yeah. Sorry for rubbing it in.
That's all right, man. That's all right.
Okay.
So welcome to the Virtual Barbershop. We've done a few of these now, and it seemed to go down really well. Everyone seemed to like it. What I'm going to try and do today is try and have a consultation with you as though you were in my chair, and try and find out what the best thing is for you, and also try and give you some advice and tips on what to ask for. So what I normally do, if you haven't seen the video, is I try and find out a little bit about you, your lifestyle, grooming routine, and then also what would be the ideal sort of style that you'd like to get if you were sitting in the chair with me. So do you want to fire away? Tell me a little bit about yourself, what your job is, etc.
Yeah, sure. So I'm in sales. I'm an account manager for a high-end internet company firm.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's all interactive again in sales. So I'm meeting with people every day, and part-time I'm a realtor. So I'm meeting people every day, face to face. So my style is usually pretty modern. I try to kind of stay with the trends. I actually never had my hair long. I kind of just didn't put anything in it. I've always kept it short, fade, maybe mid to low fade on the sides.
Okay.
Keep it tight. A couple years ago, I started to notice that I was thinning a bit, kind of like, receding here. And then the fringe is good, but it looks like right behind, kind of in the center of my head, it's starting to thin out. So I decided, let me grow it out. I guess for two reasons: to try something new, and I guess to try to do something before I lose it all, So
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. And
so
what's your grooming routine like? Do you spend time on your grooming routine, like hair, beard, etc.? Like, will you commit time to it?
Yeah, definitely. Because appearance is key in my business. So I don't mind spending some time. I like something that'll be like versatile, so I can meet with clients during the day and then go with the boys and have a drink at night. Kind of have that transition.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just I've been growing it out, taking advantage of the lockdown, and just kind of growing this out. And this beard,
nice.
This amazing patchy beard I'm growing. I've never had that. Don't have the genes for it. But,
do you know what? It's a gift and a curse, though, I think, with the beard, because if you've got a super heavy beard that you have to trim all the time, or even if you imagine if you go back 15 years and you had to be clean shaven every day, can you imagine how much of a nightmare that would be? Sometimes they're the positives I take from it, is that it might not be the best, but I haven't got to worry too much about it. So.
You got to work with it.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. So, in an ideal world, if we're in the same city together, you booked an appointment at the Hunter Collective, what would you want to ask for? Or also what advice would you want to get as well?
I guess just where what direction I should take it, because honestly, right now, what I've been doing is just kind of blow drying it. I mean, you can tell it's thin. So I just kind of been blow drying it.
Is it quite dry as well? Is it quite dry?
It's a little dry. Yeah. I mean, I condition it almost every day, condition, and then I try to shampoo it like every other day, every 2 or 3 days. I heard that was good for. I try not to shampoo it too often. More conditioning.
Okay.
But no, it's kind of frizzy. I haven't cut the ends or anything like that. I mean, my fringe is kind of long, so when I blow dry it, I put some dry paste in it and kind of like, I don't know, I guess pull it back a little bit and over. Off my face, but it's too high. I think at this point it just kind of sticks up. It looks a little crazy. And since it's thin, even with the dry paste, it kind of, you can kind of see through it, like, you know, at this angle. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, and okay, well, I'll answer that now because it's fresh in my mind. I think in terms of the style that when you mentioned about it, you feel like feeling thin and looking thin in certain parts, like the recession point here, and also just that bit behind the fringe or the front, should we say, for argument's sake. I would actually recommend keeping a bit of length in it, but I would go with the kind of curl that you've got. And if you could get a diffuser. Now, the reason I say that is because when you style curls, I know if you're used to always bringing it back and off your face and stuff, when you dry curls and you work with a diffuser, any heat will thicken the hair. And if you add anything on, like a thickening lotion or something like that, or even a salt spray. I know we always talk about salt spray, but it is like the hero product at the moment, especially for me. What it will do is it will bind the hair together. So it should give it a thicker appearance. And I think if you are worried about it being like conscious at the front, I think wearing it just like loose curls to the top will work quite well. The good thing about that as well is I know you're applying heat to it, but it's not as forced or directed with the heat, and it's not on there as long. So if you are blow drying your hair, the heat will damage it, especially if it's thinner already. If your hair is on the thinner side and then you're applying heat every single day, but at some point it's going to snap and dry out. So I would try and stay away from blow drying it too much. And if you could if you've got like you said, you've got a dry paste, if you put the dry paste in when it's damp, scrunch your hair together and leave it to dry naturally before you leave the house. Stick with your fade, because the back and side's the thing that makes your hair look smart and sharp and, you know, kind of again on trend. I think for you, with where you're looking at me now with no product in your hair, I think it suits you a lot. And I would probably try and advise you to stick with what you've got in terms of the curls and the looseness to it, and then just use a diffuser or towel dry it, because it's got a nice shape to it. And I think if you're wearing it off your face a lot, it will emphasize the fringe being, or the front, being like, say, thinner, should we say, or higher. And also if you're trying to bring it back with no support behind the hair, so if you're saying it's a bit thin through here, you need support. And if you don't have support, it's best going what you've got naturally, because otherwise it will become a nightmare. It will become a lot of it high maintenance. And the thing is, hair shouldn't be high maintenance. It should not be. It's always been my thing, is I don't think it should be high maintenance. I think a look should suit you with minimal effort, realistically. So I would actually, if you sat down to me and said, do whatever you want, I've got one request. I want a medium to low fade. I would do what you've got now. I'd just balance the top, and I'd work a diffuser into it and some either salt spray or some lotion, just to create a bit more of a very styled curl. Because it does, you'd be surprised how good it looks when you when you do style a curl. But just using the diffuser, you just work it in circles through your hair like this, and then just scrunch it and then work it again, and it just breaks the curls up. Looks lovely.
So while it's damp, add the salt spray in, and then work the diffuser in. Should I cut any of the front off here? Should I cut?
No, not just yet. I think it looks. I can't see it from a 360, but from what I can see now, the length doesn't look too bad. And especially if you use a diffuser and you are scrunching the hair, it will shorten. It will shrink, so it won't look as long. And sometimes when you do have curly hair, like you said, like, you know, if anyone's watching this and they've just seen you pull it out, it's very surprising how long it actually is. But I think what you've got going on, I think leaving a bit more length in would be nice, because it gives you more to play with, especially if you're not looking to blow dry it back or side part it or anything like that. I think it would help with the thick, like making it look thicker and fuller. So I would definitely say that. But I think the fade looks good on you, though. You've got your face shape, you're very lean. So obviously, you know, you look after yourself. You know, it looks like you're living pretty healthy. So, well, yeah, exactly, yeah. And we all do. I've been terrible on lockdown, but you know, if you've got that leaner face, you know, you've got definition through the cheeks and through the jawline. Keeping a fade low and building a bit of weight through here really sharpens that jawline off even more. So I think what you're doing is good. Yeah, low fade. Have you got like a little bit of a taper fade going on at the minute as well, just on the side bit? Yeah, I'm trying something new during the lockdown. Nice. I'm just just a taper, but real low. I think it looks nice. Yeah, I think you suit that. I think what you, to be honest, the guidance you've got in terms of the back and sides, I think you know what you're doing. I think it looks nice. I definitely stick to that. I think it's a lot of the time as well, is because you are keeping more length on the top and your hair's very dark, you can get away with keeping more length on the sides. You know, we're not looking to try and lean your face anymore. It's lean enough. So play with a bit more hair on the sides because you can get away with it with your face shape. So I think what you've got going on the back and sides is great. I really do. I think with the top, I just balance the top, so cut it all level. The fringe will always be longer, naturally. So try and keep the length of the fringe and just work a diffuser. Again, if this is something that you might not ever consider doing, try it now while you are in lockdown, see how you like it. And because I do think it will be a good option for you from what you've told me, from what I can see.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. So as far as the product you said, so the dry paste that I'm using right now, what other products would you recommend that I use?
I would recommend like a lotion of some sort, like something that like is like a leave-in conditioner as well. Okay. That's always good because if you are applying heat, you need to condition your hair. Now, just to go back on a point really quickly, was about the shampoo and conditioner method that you're doing. What you said was probably yes and no in terms of using conditioner a lot more is good, but sometimes you can over condition it, where you might need to let your oils, your natural hair oils, help to condition the hair itself. So if I was you, I would shampoo it. If you're okay getting away with shampooing it like very, very little, like very, very minimal, I would probably do it like 3 times a week and add the conditioner in at the same time, but leave it in between. Maybe even go maybe condition it once out of them 3 days, maybe just to let your oils come back as well. And if it is starting to feel dry, try and leave it to dry naturally. Otherwise, the more heat you apply to it, you're going to have to get it cut short because it will just dry out. So that is what I would suggest. Is just try and, the shampoo, not shampooing it every day is a good thing sometimes. You'll know yourself. If I can't do that because my scalp gets really dry and itchy. I have to shampoo my hair every day. Otherwise, I just seem to get a buildup of oil on my scalp and it becomes dry and flaky. And I don't like the look, obviously, no one does. So I have to do it every day. But I condition my hair twice a week. And it does seem to help me because you can get conditioner buildup on the scalp if you don't wash it off correctly as well. So if I was you, 3 times a week, shampoo, and then add a conditioner in maybe twice a week to start with, and then once a week after that for maybe do it for 2 weeks, twice a week. And then after the 2 weeks, do it once a week, see how you get on with that. But try not to work the conditioner into your scalp as well. You don't condition the hair the same way you shampoo your hair. You rub the shampoo and you rub it in to break up any product on the scalp, any oil on the scalp, etc. With conditioner, you apply it to the hair, not to the scalp. So rub it between your hands and fingers and hands, through both hands, and then just grab the hair like this and just scrunch through with the conditioner. And that way you're going to condition the hair. So you're not really meant to put conditioner on the scalp, as they always say. That's what I was taught. So try and work it through the hair more than on the scalp. And that you should see a benefit in that as well. So,
Thank you. I appreciate that. So leave-in conditioner?
Leave-in conditioner is good for drying. Any lotions, like curl lotion, curl enhancer is always good. Don't be afraid you won't get like a big sort of like kind of curly kind of, 80s kind of perm or anything like that. It will just help to soften the curls, It won't make them big enough like that because you blow dry it with a diffuser on it. So a diffuser helps to dry it as naturally as possible, really. Against obviously using a nozzle and a hairdryer to blow shape into it. So just leaving conditioner, any curl enhancer, curl serums, hair oils are good. Salt spray is good if you can get your hands on one of them. A leave-in conditioner, and then I wouldn't even really use an after product. I'd let the curls just look natural because they'll have enough product in them to do that anyway. So I wouldn't apply anything after unless you're looking to change the style up. So I'd stay away from using a finishing product. I'd use a base and that's it.
Got it.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Is that everything,
Thank you. Yeah. Answered a lot of questions. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome, mate. Thank you so much for doing the Zoom call with us. And anything else we can help you with, just please comment and let us know. All right.
All right. We'll do.
Thanks, man.
All right, Dan. Thanks.
Stay safe, buddy.
Take care.
Take care.
All right.
Bye,
you too. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Hey, Nitesh.
How's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Or...
I can see. Yeah. It's a bit dark, but if you can get. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's better. How are you? You okay?
Good yourself? Yeah.
Good, man. I was lockdown treating you.
It's doing good. I mean, it's doing what we can, staying safe. Hopefully it's over soon.
I know. Where are you based?
I'm in Montreal, Canada.
Oh, Montreal. Cool. And what's it been like over there? Has it been quite intense or?
Yeah, it's been pretty intense for Canada, but I mean, I guess not as bad as it could be. Everyone's safe on my end, so that's good.
Oh, yeah, that's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. So I just want to say welcome to the Virtual Barbershop. Thanks for
doing
this with us. It's always good.
This is amazing.
Thanks, man. I'm glad you're liking them. So what I want to do today is I'm trying to do these virtual barbershops, whereas try and make it as close to you being in the chair with me as you possibly can. So I'll go through a consultation with you that I would do with any other client who sits in the chair. Obviously just through a phone and not face to face, unfortunately.
Right.
So what I'd like to know is I always tend to ask questions like, what's your lifestyle like? What you do for a living? What your grooming routine is like, will you spend time on it, for example? And then also the last one is normally, how would you like your hair cut? In an ideal world, what would you ask for? What advice would you want on that? Or what do you want to pick my brain about something? So fire away, mate. Let me know, what's your lifestyle like?
Yes, I'm a student, full-time in college student. So most of the day is studying, going to class, like being social and active. So those are like things I like being out. So I think that's where like the hair comes in. It's not just let it go messy. Like this quarantine is kind of making you do, but I do put care into it, whether it's products or, like taking care of it. So I definitely have that aspect to it. I don't just let it go natural, I guess. And yeah, so that's, I usually like something that's not too high maintenance, although I do have, I give it time in the morning to like, comb it through, wash it, style it and so on. Condition it, obviously, put some oils and stuff.
Good.
So yeah, so that's really like where I stand. And then typically I think this is the longest my hair's ever gotten. And it's kind of weird. Like I never kind of gave it that chance to let it grow. So I have really thick, coarse, straight hair. So typically I get like a skin fade or a low fade, and then like more of a messy crop on top, like either a quiff or a crop or something. So kind of put it to the side. Now it's just very long. And so I noticed that like it's really good when I just get a nice clean cut and it's nice and flush, but because it's so straight up, after a week or so, it's as if I didn't really get a haircut. So that's the kind of thing I've always been battling with. And, going every week, 2 weeks as a student is not the ideal situation. So I kind of just learned to live with that, and even some paste and gel doesn't really keep it down as much.
It's so thick. It's so thick.
You could see, and like
I can see that.
So so right now it's a little disconnected. It's kind of just letting it go down. I mean, I'm not really going anywhere. So just
you put your natural parting in there as well. That looks as though it's where your natural parting must sit as well.
I tried to make it in the middle sometimes, but it doesn't go that way. Like I guess my little rosette goes down there, so it's a little diagonal. But I mean, so
Okay, cool. And so being a student, obviously a lot of people think that students tend to not work that much or go to work, for example, like as though they're not having to get up early in the mornings and go to do a job. But actually I found the guys who I've had in my chair or who I've spoke to or who are students are probably busier than anybody because they're constant. You have to get up, go to class, then come home and study. So it's hard and it's time consuming. So like you said, picking a haircut that works for you in being low maintenance but still looks good, I think you've got it bang on the money there, really. In terms of obviously thick back and sides, I've got the same problem as you. I mean, I'm very lucky though because my wife's a hairdresser and she's done barbering, so she does my hair for me now, and she's never cut my hair before apart from when we've been in lockdown. So that's why my hair is short, because I've been able to get it done. But I have the same issue as yourself. I do normally go about 8 weeks in between a haircut because I can't find the time to do it, and I have the same issue with you. It's very thick on the sides. It grows out like crazy. But I think the haircut that you're getting, I couldn't really change that for you, really. I think what you are getting is good. I know obviously you've had a chance to grow it out. So the thing is, when people talk about high maintenance and low maintenance haircuts, any haircut should be low maintenance if it's cut right. So it shouldn't matter how long it is. That sometimes the longer, the more low maintenance it can be. Because I've got a friend who's been growing his hair now for about 2 years, and it looks wicked, and he doesn't do anything to it. He just puts a little bit of oil in and that's it. So it looks good effortlessly. So when with yours on the back and sides, stick to something really short, because obviously we know that that's going to work for you. Maybe try a slightly higher fade, because with your face shape and with the thickness of your hair, it will grow out wide. So you can almost get away with going higher on the blend, because you can still create squareness with spiky hair. So if you've ever seen any of the haircuts that I've done on, say, anyone with like thick, spiky hair, I tend to take the blend higher because you can still create the squareness in the hair. So it might be a good option to go higher, because you will get longer out of it. And then obviously short, as choppy as you can get, as textured as you can get with your hair, because I can imagine it, again, being really thick, it would be hard to maintain after a couple of weeks. So try and, if you can, ask for it to be really heavily textured, because that will thin it out as well. But it will thin it out in a way that isn't going to be like blocky or like, it's not going to grow out wild. If you point cut into the base of the hair, it thins the hair out, but it also takes a long time for it to grow out because you're going right to the base of the hair. So normally, if you see anyone like adding texture adding thinning going into the middle of the hair to thin your hair out with, say, a thinning scissor or something, that's just going to grow out quicker because you're not going very low. So if you do it and you pinpoint the thickness all over, if this is something if you've got a good relationship with your barber, that's something you can talk about with them, as like, what you would like to have done to try it out, for example. But I think the more texture you get in your hair, the better. If I was going to cut your hair now, I would razor cut your hair heavily, because with it being very similar to mine, you can get away with so much more on it to break that up, and it does last an awful long time. Because I've seen myself in some of the videos where I know I'm well overdue a haircut, but I can still style the top, and that's half the battle sometimes, as well as being able to style the top. Because the sides, you can be annoyed at the sides, but not much we can do, unless you attempt a self cut, which I wouldn't.
I've tried it. It didn't work too well in the past.
There you go. Exactly. Exactly. So if you can just get the top heavily texturized, you will find that you should get 6 to 8 weeks out of a haircut, especially on the top, and it's still to look good. So that would probably be my advice for if you want to add something to an already, like the style you've already got, because it seems to be a good idea for you. I'd just say higher, put the fade a bit higher, maybe.
Yeah, so typically it would go to about right here is when you would be like the skinner part, and then it would get, into a number 2, usually like up to the corners. Yeah. I've been trying to like push it up higher, but sometimes my barber says it's better lower. Like, I guess just, what they think in the moment. But I could definitely try to encourage that a bit, I think.
Maybe ask for like a wider blending point. That could be a good one.
Okay.
So what that is, if you don't know what that is you have the 0 or the skin at the normal level, so like temple around the bottom there, and then where you'd normally blend a 2 into a 1.5 into a 1 into a half, and the blend point becomes like, say, the blending points are about a couple of centimeters wide all the way to the 2. If you stretch out the blend, it looks shorter, but you can also still create head shape with it. So let's just say you went a bit higher with the 0.5 and then a bit higher with the 1 and the 2, but you still finished off at the 2 at the same level. You're just blending higher up and stretching out the blend. So that could be a good one to do. I think I've done one of them on one of the videos. I'm not too sure which one it would be, because the problem is we film these videos so sort of far in advance. It's like I forget which one it is. But if I can try and figure out which one it is, I'll send it to Liam to send to you. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
So that'd be good. Look what I mean. Okay, with a stretching out of a blend. And that would probably work well for you, because the fade is still at the same point. It just still looks a bit short because you're taking the blend out.
Yeah, it looks stretched a little bit.
It's still the same level. Yeah, you're just stretching the blend out, basically. So that could be a good one. And then adding loads of heavy texture on the top, because you are going a bit shorter, you can kind of stretch the blend out a bit more as well.
I guess with that, it reminded me of a question I might have had, and I never really got a chance to ask my barber. But so usually on one side, like my hair kind of naturally goes over to this side. So if you see now, it's all blended here, whereas here it's almost like an undercut. And I've been trying to work to like correct it, but even each time, like it's still a bit of a disconnect. So I was wondering, do you think it's better to go like blend it in completely on both sides, or keep it more of like a little bit of like an undercutty disconnect kind of cut?
I'm not the biggest fan of that cut, only because the way it grows out. Because if you've got one side connected and one side disconnected, you don't get much longevity out of it. That's the problem. Because I've seen that this style has become huge, and I get a lot of like new clients coming in with this style, and it works really well. Like if it's cut well, it works great. But the only problem is you're stuck with a haircut of the same haircut for 6, 8, 12 weeks, depending on how quickly you go back. And that can be annoying, because it grows out. So it almost feels like it grows out quicker, because you've got so much more length on one side to the other. So I would always say, I would always connect both sides. Even if you want to brush your hair over to one side, you still connect both sides, because it grows out symmetrical, and it'll grow out better for you. Especially, let's just say who would have thought in January this would have happened? So, now you've seen what happens when it grows out so long. You want to avoid that. So I would connect both sides in and still just brush the top over, because it should still, it would still brush over. You just don't need to, you can just connect both sides.
Yeah, so I've been trying to work with that. I think the last time I actually intended to get like more of a line was maybe a year ago, and every time I go, I've been trying to, ask to get it symmetrical bit, but there's always that like overhang that's persists. Do you think it's long? Like, is there anything I do to like make sure that, or tell them to remind them, and like, is there any way aside? Because they keep saying like it'll take some time to like connect the two, but I feel like at this point,
it won't though. Not now, it won't. You'll be fine now. Yeah. That is true. What they're saying is definitely true, because when you go back after, say, if you go back every, what's your average sort of time?
I'd say ideally 4. Sometimes 5. I'll push it to 5, but I try to keep it every month.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so once a month, say. That is hard to connect after that time, because normally when you are leaving the overhang, you're going higher up on the sides, on one side.
Yeah.
So when you normally go into the round of the head, and you always want to blend from just below the round of the head. So when you are working quite high up into, like, say, a heavy line, it's very hard to connect that in, because you're going to cut it on the corner, which is going to spike out. So it won't look great. It is true. But now you've got this much length in it, it won't be a problem at all. So I'd say ask for a different style, because I think if you're asking for it to be brushed over to one side, it will. And if that tends to be the most popular way of doing it. If you ask for them to have it, say, if you ask for, I just want a little bit short on the top and my fringe to go up, then that way they won't cut it into a side part, so then you can part it yourself. So you can bring it over yourself. Just ask them to, I just want to connect it both sides. I don't want a side part. I just want it to be a bit longer on top and short around the back and sides. And then that way, that should eradicate the parting. Because then that way, when you go home, you can just style it over to one side and both sides are connected. And it will work. You do know it works over to one side. Yeah. So that's what I would ask for. And then, or another good thing is going into if you've got a water-based product, and just put a little bit of product in, if you style it the way you want it to be cut, then that's always good. And that's why I always try, and because I do wash hair before I cut, I can see exactly how the client styled his hair. So I can say, is this how you like to wear it? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm not having to kind of guess how they're doing it, because a lot of the times if you go to a place where they don't wash it, you normally wash it for the barber. So you can never really explain how you wear it sometimes. So if you wear, like, say, a little bit of like water-based clay, which is quite light, just say, I want it to look like this but shorter. That's always a good way of doing it. A little reference point for them. Or if you've got any photos, some people don't like showing photographs, but I encourage it so much, because I try
to take little screenshots of your videos here and there, and
exactly, because it helps you out. It helps us out a lot. So I would say not asking for a side part, just ask for a longer top, and then you can part it yourself. That might be I think that's probably the best way to trial, because at least then you're not getting the top too short. So I'd suggest that. I'd say that's the best bet. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Anything else you want to ask? Or
I usually if I go to the back, sometimes this remind me of all these questions I have. Keeping it lower or higher is something I don't really know, because I guess if I'm going really short, sometimes they keep, like, the back usually goes a little bit of a dip.
Okay.
And versus other times I'll go and they'll just keep it all flush, like one length across. So I was wondering, I don't know, what do you recommend? I know in your videos you usually like to dip a little bit in the back.
Just a little bit, Yeah, that's right. I normally go to, if I'm doing a fade, I'd usually drop the 0 down to, like, just below the occipital bone, because then I've got an angle. So I've got, like, points of reference where I know my fade can start and stuff like that. So I would say, if you're going down to skin, I would keep the line quite low, just below the occipital bone, and then obviously everything else gets blended up from that. So I wouldn't go too high, because you just end up, especially if you're having a wider blend point. If you are going to go in and ask for a stretched blend on the sides, keeping it lower is better, because then your barber's got more room to blend at the back. So it's got more room to create head shape at the back, and that's the reason why I drop it down, because it just helps me create a nice silhouette at the back, just a nice rounded finish towards the back here, more than it being really high and then flat. Because obviously with the crown where it is on most people's heads, it's very flat, and if you go too high, it just looks very flat. Like, if you're looking from the side on, it looks really flat and then super high at the front. So I always try and just get that balance throughout, because the thing is, it's not just about what you see in the mirror. It's about what you see, what everyone else sees, which is like this angle here when they're talking to you, like they're coming to approach you about, saying hello. They might get a certain angle that you don't know about. So you've got to make sure every angle looks good. So that's why I always drop it down, just to give myself some room to blend and create head shape. So I'd stick to low. I'd always stick to low just in case, because if you go high, and then
it usually
might
sticks
go a
up
bit
if
too
I go
high.
high. Yeah, it usually sticks up here, and then and I don't know what to do because it's like pasted down at the shop, and then you go home, shower, and it's sticking.
And it's spiking. Yeah, I just ask for it low then.
Okay.
If that's what you notice, and I just ask for it low, because in that way, the last thing you want is it spiking up at the back, because there's nothing you can do. You're not trained enough to be able to comb it out from the crown and get it to sit perfect. So if I was you, stick to it being low. I'd suggest that'd be the best thing for you.
All right.
Or if you are going, I'd only suggest to go high is if you're going quite short on the top. That's what I'd suggest. If you're going for like what I've got now, for example, like short crop. Just like finger length.
I keep it a bit longer.
Yeah, if it's prone to sticking out, stay low. If you're going for anything shorter, go a bit short. It might help you a little bit. But if you know it sticks out, I'd try and prevention over cure,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, they're all good tips, because I never really got to ask these. You just go, you get there, and you're like, oh, all right, this is what it is.
I know what you mean by that, because I'm like that when I'm thinking about, like, I'm getting the car and I'm putting Spotify on and I can't think of songs I want to listen to. Yeah. But then I'm away from the car. I'm like, oh, that's what I want to add to the playlist. I totally get it, mate. Totally get it. Well, that's why we're doing this. It's a nice way, because it's not an environment where you've got a queue behind you or anything like that. It's you just one-to-one with me. So like I said, any questions you had, just ping them across. And if there are any questions that come up that you've forgotten to ask, just pop them on a comment on one of our videos, because I will do another Q&A soon. Because like I said, I've got probably another month or so of this, so I might as well fill it with asking questions. So if you've got anything that you've forgotten, just type in a comment and I'll try and answer it for you next time.
Appreciate it. I really like your videos. I think they're good. I've watched a lot of haircut videos, and like I think you really teach people what it is instead of just do it. So it's good.
Well, that's all we're trying to do. Just help people out. So no, I appreciate that. It's always
maybe
nice
one day I'll come to the UK and hopefully I can get a cut at your
definitely, man. Well, if you do, let us know for sure. Yeah, we'll get you in for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Nitesh, man. Well, nice to meet you. Thanks for doing this. Yeah. And
thank you.
Look after yourself. Stay safe. And we'll speak again.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hey, Ryan.
Hello. You all right?
Hey, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm not bad. How's lockdown treating you?
Well, it could be better, but we can't really complain, can we? Because we're all in the same situation. So
that's it, mate. Exactly. Yeah. Where are you based at the moment?
Newcastle.
Are you Newcastle? Yeah. Oh, sweet. I love Newcastle, man. I used to spend quite a lot of time in Newcastle back in the day. Yeah.
No, it's good. I mean, it's not so great when you can't experience it because you're stuck in the house. But
that's true. Yeah. Oh, cool, man. Well, thanks for joining us on our virtual barbershop. I don't know if you've seen the last one, but all I'm trying to do now is I'm going to do a consultation with yourself, and just kind of as though you were sitting in the chair with me. So I kind of ask the questions like, what's your lifestyle? What's your grooming routine? Will you spend time on it, etc., etc.? And then in an ideal world, if we were together in the chair, in the shop, what would you want to have done, or what questions would you like answered? So fire away with what's your lifestyle like, then, mate? What you do for a living, etc.
So I actually work for the civil service. So
cool.
I'm specifically cabinet office.
Oh wow, nice.
And at the moment, I'm actually responsible for hiring all the extra staff that we need for everyone's furlough payments to go through and stuff. So
wow.
Yeah, so that's,
good on you,
as
man.
you can imagine, that's manic at the moment. But so it's primarily office based, but at the moment, obviously we're flexing. Working from home.
Are you still going into the office though? Are you still going in?
No, we're all completely remote working at the moment, which I think will probably be the normal after that.
I know. I was thinking that myself. Yeah.
But grooming wise, obviously, I like to take care of myself and look after myself in the best way. Eat as well as I can. Exercise quite a lot. Play a lot of football. Go to the gym and things like that. Resistance training. And just like to kind of do what I can to make the most of what I have, really. Try and use like good products for things like shampoos, conditioners, things like that.
Yeah.
And just try and take the best care that I can, really, because I think
by eating healthy and training and stuff, it's always a bonus, because you put into your body comes out through your hair, etc. So that's good. That's really good. Are you what are you doing with your hair at the moment? What would you, if in an ideal world, what would you want to have done to your hair? Then are you liking it longer? Are you used to having a fade? What's the deal?
What I did before the whole lockdown situation, I was in the phase of growing it out just out of pure curiosity, because I'd never had it like quite a long length.
Okay.
And then obviously with the lockdown, it's obviously made it a lot easier because I can't go and get it cut now. So
that's one positive from all this, right? It has been a good idea to experiment,
So at the moment, it's in a stage where it hasn't been cut in God knows how long. You're talking like 3 months at the moment.
Wow.
So it's wild.
Yes.
And obviously it's got a lot of wave to it. I've got quite fine hair, but I've got a lot of it.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's kind of starting to creep a little bit back in the clothes, but it's not too bad.
Okay.
But so at the moment, it's more for me when the time comes when barbershop salons, things like that, can reopen. Going in and just getting something that I think would suit me more, because at the moment it's not what I would want it to look like. It's just how it is at the moment.
Okay.
I'm thinking more something that would come down like fringe wise, instead of being pushed off the face, because I think having it off the face doesn't suit me as well as it would if it was down. But it's just to get a better opinion, because I think for me, if I'm standing in front of the mirror, you always kind of think that you always have a picture in your head of what you would want it to look like, but then it never will, because you don't have that hair type. So having someone like yourself to let me know what may be better would be great.
Okay. Well, I've got to say, normally, like first when you meet someone for the first time, I am always I always cold read. So I'll see someone come in. So if the way the Hunter Collective layout is, you probably don't see it on the videos, but my chair is on the end of a row of 4 or 5, and the doorway's at the end where you come up. So you come up to the second floor through a lift, and then you come through the doorway. And we've got our little lounge area behind me to the left. Okay, so imagine that. So I'm standing up to the left of me. So I always have a little check when someone walks through the door. It's always like, "Hey, how you doing?" To anyone who comes in, because it's quite sociable. But if it's somebody I've never met before and it's a guy, it's usually for me. And I'll always do like a cold read. So I'll see what they're wearing. I'll see the hair as it currently is. And the thing is, I'll also see if it suits them. And to be honest, when you first came on, I think you suit your hair like that so much. I know that's not what you want, but I actually think you really suit it. You've got a very similar look to what we did on one of the videos. I don't know if you remember it, but we did a video with a guy who was from the Wirral. And he had kind of brush back hair. He came with it quite long, and it kind of brushed back. And I did clipper over comb on the back and sides and kept it quite long. I don't know if you've seen it. I can always ask Liam to just send you the link to it or whatever, or whichever one it was. And you've got a very similar look to him. Now I know you don't want to wear it off your face, so I have to try and rewire my thinking now about what I think would work, because what you've got going on now, I think you suit it so much. I think that you've got nice hair, you've got a lovely wave to it. It almost, for me, it'd be almost like it would be a shame to cut it short, because how nice your hair is, in terms of the texture. And I know you said it's creeping up a little bit here, but with the way you're wearing it, you can't really tell. But that's my opinion, right? But what you're after, I'll give you some advice on that as well. So if you want to wear it down and you want to wear it more across your face, I would say you want to brush it across more than wear it completely down, because you've got like a sort of heart shape, like oval face shape.
Yeah.
And I think if you cover up the fringe, it would really close your face up. So I know I'm trying to see if you could imagine what that would be like. But if you take a picture of yourself with your fringe down and bring it across, put a little clip in it or something so it fits across. Take a picture then, and then take a picture of your face off your face, and you'll see what I mean. It changes your features slightly, and you've got a good face shape, like you said. You look like you're in. You look like you look after yourself, and it would be a shame to ruin that. You know how lean your face shape is. But if that's what you're really after, what I would suggest doing more of is, I would suggest kind of still slightly bringing it up off the face on one side. So which side would you say is creeping up more? Is it your right side?
Probably
or
just
both?
around about the same, to be fair.
About the same. Okay. Because I was going to think you could probably do something like, if you have a look at the way Chris Hemsworth wears his hair. Okay. Just trying to think of visual things you could see, because if we were face to face, I could sort of show you with like moving it around a little bit. But with the way he wears his, he's got quite a high hairline, and his hair is quite fine textured, but it's very straight. But the way he wears it is kind of slightly off center sometimes, and it drops down a bit at the corners. I think that would be a better way of doing it. So it still sits on your face a little bit, but it's not fully on your face. I think the maintenance would be quite hard for you as well, a little bit. But again, the flip side is, if you've never done that, then it's always a good try to do it as well, you know, to try it out. So haircut wise, wearing it on your face, if you want to do that completely, is I would still try and keep a little bit of your curl in there. So I'd still keep your fringe quite heavy, because I think that would be quite nice if you maintain a little bit of that wave. So if your hair texture is very similar. Have you ever seen the video we've done where the guy had the disconnection, the blonde highlights? Did you ever see that video?
I've seen one where the guy's got, I think it might be the one you're on about. He's got quite dark hair, isn't it? It's not, I don't know if it's just like black hair. Yeah. And then he has got like a slight, it's more like towards the back here, isn't it? Where the highlights are on. Not
on this guy, no. Not on this guy, no. This guy has got full blonde like highlights on the top, and then we disconnect the sides, because the way I styled his hair is the way I think you should wear yours. So what I'll do is I'll ask Liam if he can just ping you the video to watch, because he's got that very fine textured hair with a lot of it, but his is finer because it's being coloured, so it tends to damage the hair to make it, you know, more play around with it a bit easier. But the way he's got his is kind of wearing it all forward, still a lot of curl going through it, and still quite messy, and it sits just like kind of on the eyebrows, but quite scrunched. I think that will work really well for the top of your hair. So if you get that as a visual reference. Back and sides though, I'd keep lengthening the back and sides of your hair if you're wearing it on your face, because because of your face shape being so lean, if you take the back and sides very short and you've just got fringe, it will almost lengthen the face. So keep some hair on it, get it like scissor cut on the back and sides, and get some texture put in it as well. So get them to like cut into the sides, but leave a bit of length, so that you've got a nice balance all the way through. Because if it is too high and too short, and you're left with just fringe, it might not work for you. It might look it might almost ruin the look that we're going for. Where if the guy on the video I'm trying to use as a reference, his face is wider than yours. He's got a more wider, kind of more square face shape, where yours, again, slightly hard, slightly oval, which it wouldn't work as well on you than it does to him. So if you're going to go short, if you wanted clippers, I'd probably go no shorter than like a 4 on the back and sides. You can still taper the sideburns in tight. You know, if you want to go down to like a 1 or something, do it on the sideburns and the neck, but maintain a lot of more hair through the sides and the back, because it will just help balance the fringe for your face shape. Yeah. So I would say that would be a good one to try out as well. And again, while you've got long hair, you may as well try this out. There's what can go wrong, you know? Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? You know, you go shorter. Exactly. You know? So I would say that if you want to wear your fringe on the face, I would say that finished look, would be probably ideal for you. Is work with the wave as well, because you know, people pay a lot of money to have wave in their hair. You know what I mean? I would. Yeah. I'd love to get some wave in mine. It's absolutely poker straight. So if work with it, it'll be more low maintenance for you. It'll be less product heavy as well, because you could apply a little bit of like a clay or a cream of some sort, and dry it in with like either blow dry it with your fingers, so it's just finger styled, which looks more natural and looks really nicely styled, or you could add a diffuser to it to really bring out more wave, or you could blow dry it with a brush and just blow dry it over to one side, so then it naturally falls in the way you want it to. What products are you using at the moment? I know you said you like to spend time, you know, getting good products. What are you using at the moment?
So at the moment, normally, there's nothing in at the moment, but if I was to dry it and style it normally, it would be either a salt spray or or a cream. I usually start with salt spray and dry that in just so it's got a bit more texture to it.
Good.
And then I'll finish with a hair cream. It's a Paul Mitchell one.
Okay.
Like a shaving cream kind of thing.
Okay, I know which one. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, is that the Mitch range? Is that Mitch?
Yes. Yeah.
I know which one that is. Yeah. Nice stuff.
Because I find if I use something that's quite hard, like a clear or like a hard wax, it just gets stuck. Because obviously of the texture and with the wave, it just gets stuck.
Yeah.
So
your fingers get stuck as well, don't they? As well when you're trying to play with it. Yeah.
So I feel like cream just works better because it goes through easier.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's
what I go for.
Good choice. Yeah, cool. I think you bang on there, really, mate. What you're doing is good. I think again, product choice as well is for base. Fine, salt sprays or any leave-in conditioners are nice, but for your base, again, this is something else that I try and like kind of teach people as well, is that it's also about the hair color, not just your hair texture as well. So if you did use something like a wax or anything like that, it would actually probably make your hair look greasy because it's wet. You know what I mean? You've got quite a flat tone to your hair. It doesn't look very warm. Mm-hmm. So what happens is if you put a wet product on your hair, or like an oily product or a pomade style product or oil based, it'll make your hair look greasy. It'll make it like change the tone and make it like a darker tone. So if you're going to wear a product like a cream, like you said, the one you're using, as long as it doesn't do that, stick with it. And if you want to experiment with other products, aim for things that are like water-based, water-soluble kind of products as well. So like creams, clays are always nice. A few pastes as well. There's hundreds of products now, but you're looking for like a water-soluble, dry to natural shine. Okay, is what you're looking for. Dry to natural shine. Anything above that, I wouldn't suggest it for your hair color. So if you're happy with the product you're using now, the Mitch cream, then stick with it. And it'll work for your new style as well, because you want to have something that's going to give a bit of weight to the hair as well, because you want to sit it on your face. It needs to have weight in the product. If it's too light, if it's too matte and light, it won't hold. So you'll then have to add another product in, like a hairspray, which again, that's another product to buy. It's another bit of time consumption, which you don't really need, especially, mate, you sound like you're busy enough, So I would stick to the product choice you've got now. Is fantastic. If it's working for you, stick with it, but just try and again stay away from anything that's too high shine. All right.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Because at the moment, it's obviously if I wanted to have it like in a fringe, it wouldn't. The way that my hair is, it's still going to flick out in different places. And when it's shorter, it seems to curl more, so it scrunches up more, and it kind of goes into more of a, instead of being a wave, it's more of like a C curl kind of. So when it does go shorter, I have had it in the past where I had it as it was last summer actually. It was like a low fade, but it wasn't like a really short fade. Still had a little bit of length to it, and then blended up. And it was a bit longer on the top, and it was quite curly and down. It wasn't like to here, but it was like to there, kind of scrunched curly. But it's whether, because I'm not keen on, like you say, like the fade kind of style. I prefer it to be more like classic look, if that makes sense.
Like scissor cut basically. Yeah. So that's what I'd suggest. 100%, definitely, because you've got good texture to hair. Like you said, it's finer hair, but there's a lot of it, so it will sit flat to the head. It won't pop out. So if I wanted to have something like you've got, I couldn't get it really. Like one of the guys I had on before you, basically similar hair to me, and if you look at the way his hair was compared to what your hair was, and it's about the same length. In fact, no, his was much shorter than yours. It looks wider than yours. So you can get away with keeping more length in it, but for it to still sit flat. So the thing I would suggest to you is if you could get a haircut where you work, if you've got to cut through your fingers on the back and sides, like palm to palm, so you're layering the hair flatter, so you're laying it, still keeping length in it, and then you can still get a nice taper on the sideburn. So you could always work out like even down to like a 1, just to flick out on the bottom, so you get that really nice clean look. But then what you've got is you've got movement and texture through the sides, which really
definitely
to balance everywhere else. So I would definitely suggest keep length in the sides. And if you're wearing your fringe down, it doesn't, it's going to help and benefit the look massively. You're not going to have like a certain angle where it's really short and it almost looks unbalanced. You know, it looks really front heavy. It's going to have that balance because you've got hair through it. So I think this has been probably a good benefit for you having this with all of us. You know, taking some positive and the negative of the lockdown. It's give you a chance, and a lot of other people, millions of people, to see what their hair's actually like, what my hair texture is actually like. So I would work with what you've got now. I'd maintain a lot of length, get it cut. So a good little thing as well is if you're looking to try and take length off the back and sides, but you don't know how much you want off when it's long like yours, ask them to take off what length is coming over the ear. Because in that way, if you comb it over the ear and you've got, say, 1/2 inch, that's all you want off the back and side. So then that way it's a good reference for them to go, okay, yeah, he wants 1/2 inch off. So whatever's coming over the ears, if you want to keep more length in, just ask for that to be removed. And then that way you'll still keep length in it. To wear your hair forward as well, a good technique would be to either razor or slide cut through it forwards. So working it from the back with the scissor and working it forwards like this, you force direction forward, so you're cutting it in the way you want it to fall, and that's a real must when you want to wear your fringe down, because your fringe will want to naturally part just off center and go off your face. So you almost need to force the hair to sit differently. So again, a little bit of heat on that, but if you get it cut with the slide cut coming forwards like this, it'll almost force the hair to sit forwards because the way it's being cut. So that could be another nice thing to ask your barber or stylist or whoever you see to do that kind of technique. And I'm sure they'll know it. It's a very commonly used technique. So I would suggest that, because that way it helps to break up the curl, helps to thin it out and force direction forward. And obviously then you style it forward so it all matches, you know. So that's what I would suggest as well. Yeah. But I think you've got a good, I think hopefully I've answered the questions that you seem to know what you want, and hopefully if I've steered you in that direction, then that's it's been good. I think hopefully I've helped you in that way.
Yeah, because it's to see with, obviously when you search online and you do research into the kind of things that would suit your face shape and things like that, you get a lot of confusion because there's just so much conflicting stuff around there. So it's just knowing what so it's just knowing what is best for my face shape, for my features. That was kind of confusing for me, that I would have wanted your opinion on.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for today, man. I really do appreciate you taking the time out to come in here and do these virtual barbershops. It's always nice to see your face and actually talk about my job for a while, because I'm looking after 3 children at the moment and I'm not talking about work at all. So it's quite nice.
I can imagine. It drives you insane a little bit, doesn't it?
I'm going to say it in a good way, all right? In a good way, all right? Read between the lines, but no, but thanks very much for your time, man. And, stay safe, and hopefully, work doesn't get too much more crazy for you.
Yeah, thank you to yourself as well for taking your time out of your day as well. Thank you.
Oh, no, you're very welcome, Ryan. Thank you very much, man. Well, stay safe, mate, and wish you all the best.
Yeah, you too.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, all right?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Good. How's lockdown treating you?
It's okay, actually.
That's good.
Yeah, sort of. All right, I'm working at home, some of the stuff, so it's okay. So.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Where are you based?
Based in London, in Putney.
Oh, in Putney. I used to live in Putney. Yeah.
Whereabout?
I used to live on Melrose Road by East Putney, in between Southfields and East Putney tube station.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Just where the academy is.
Do you know the Telegraph pub?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
I live just around the corner from the Telegraph pub.
Oh wow, bloody hell! Yeah.
So we've got the heath there, so we can go and exercise on the heath if we want to.
Nice. Yeah. I love that. I used to go to Putney Heath quite a lot. It's lovely up there. It's so nice. It's lovely. I do actually miss Putney. Actually, I'm not going to lie. I do miss it. It was one of the nice places to live there. It was great. I'm sure I've seen your face. Have you cut your own hair?
Pardon?
Have you cut your own hair recently?
Yes.
Did you tag us in it?
Yes.
I thought I recognised your face. Yeah. Very good job. Very good job. Yeah,
so
I was very impressed.
My second one that I've done in lockdown.
Okay.
So
wow.
It's interesting because I was watching one of your YouTube videos.
Yes.
And some of them and stuff like that. And then one of my friends happened to be in your chair one day.
Oh wait, which one was that?
Sean. He had a beard, salt and pepper, beard and hair.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a funny guy. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
straight away, like, oh, just seen you on YouTube.
Well, anyway, I've got to talk to you about our virtual barbershop. So first of all, thank you very much for coming on to it. It's been really, really fun doing these. It's a bit sad because I wish I could kind of be there in person because I miss cutting hair. But so basically, I've obviously, I know you've cut your own hair. So would this be more of a, would you like to ask me more questions and do a consultation, or would you prefer to go down the consultation route?
Consultation route is good because in terms of like, I always can, when I have my hair long, I think, well, actually, maybe I want to go short. And then when I get it cut short, I then want to grow it long. And then I never know which suits me best, or people say that I suit both, but then I have a side parting and then I have a crown at the back here. Yeah. And it's sort of like, there are a couple of people I follow on Instagram and I sort of like quite like their hair and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, can I get it like that? Or, and then it's just also, as I'm getting older and it's going grayer, and it's sort of like, which I like the grey. So I think that's,
it looks good. Yeah.
It's just sort of like, but as I get older, should I be going shorter or keep it long or whatever, and all those sorts of things?
Yeah. Do you know what? I think when you go grey, I think if you leave it longer, it can age you. Okay. In terms of the whole hair, I think keeping the back and sides nice and tight. To be honest, what you've got now, I wouldn't change a thing, mate, to be honest. I think it looks wicked. I could give you some advice on a person to look at on Instagram if you don't already follow them. It's a guy, to be honest, I only know him as his tagline. He's called Mr. Rutherford on Instagram. I don't know if you follow him. Do you follow him, yeah?
That's the person who I've been trying to cut my hair like for the last 6 months to a year.
Honestly, he has got, like, I think he is the idol for men with grey hair. I honestly do, because I've got so many clients who showed me a picture of him and why I started following him, because I was like, I want to see how he gets his haircut so I can try and replicate it as best I can. Because I only ever see like a model shot where it's like really heavily styled and you can't really tell how it's cut sometimes. So I would say what you've got going on now, I think works well. I think it looks good. I think keeping the height through here is nice. You've got a very lean face. Not doing, that's a good thing because you don't have to try and lean it up, which I am having to do at the moment with all this isolation food that I've been getting fed. So I think what you're doing is a good thing. I would say I wouldn't do too much more height on the top though. Okay.
No, because sometimes it gets too. So I've actually trimmed the top because it does get too high. Then it makes everything look really long, and then it really shapes out at the sides here.
Yeah.
And like you said, I prefer it to be quite tight and almost like skin faded round the back and then blending in. But then sometimes I feel if that's too tight and then there's too much on here, then it just doesn't look proportioned wise.
Yeah. You've got to find the balance. I would say for you though, is you could still keep a skin fade on the back and sides. What you want to do is before the way I would talk you through the haircut that I would do to you now, very briefly. I would talk you through. I'd horseshoe section it right from your recession point around to just drop it down from your crown. Now I know your crown's on your left hand side. Yeah. There, yeah. So that it doesn't look like. I mean, if you just turn your head to the side for me a little bit. Yeah. See, it falls all right. See, it's fine. It's good. It's good. It falls over it, so that's fine. So I'd drop it down below the crown, and I'd work from a 2 down to the skin fade, and I'd work it, and I'd cut the square shape in. But I'd go a little bit higher up, so I'd still maintain that square. So I wouldn't be working out, I'd be working up. Now, to maintain length on the top, you can just disconnect the fringe, okay? So you can blend in. You just pull the sides down horizontally into the blend point. So when your finger meets the guide from your clipper work, and you cut it horizontally there, you can still leave a lot of length, but connect the sides in here. What we're going to do is disconnect the fringe out. Because if you look at that guy, Mr. Rutherford, his whole top of his head is disconnected, but he is a model, and he has everything that he does is styled heavily, right? Which would probably work if you had your own personal stylist doing your hair for you. You could make it work really well. You're doing it yourself on a day-to-day basis, going into work and whatnot. If you disconnect the fringe, you still get the look of longer hair, but with the balance of a connected haircut. So that is what I would suggest to do. Okay, so you just work it horizontally to the blend point here. Instead of working like vertical, you work horizontally, so you maintain all that length. You pull everything over, connect it in and leave the fringe out. And then as you're working the fringe up, the fringe disconnects over, but everywhere else is blended. So it's like almost, it gives you the appearance of what you want with the low maintenance of what you actually want to try and achieve. So that is what I would say. If I was going to do a haircut and if you came in now, I was like, just do this, whatever you recommend. I'd work with what you already have, but I'd just connect the top in and leave the fringe disconnected. And that you would get the same effect, but without the high maintenance of it.
Okay. So, because one question, because obviously, like, I like it square at the sides.
Yeah.
But whenever I seem to get it cut shorter, higher up.
Yeah.
This side just seems to just stick out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It never goes flat. It just, so the shorter it goes, it just seems to stick out, and I have to really push it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that just the way my hair grows, or?
Yeah, it could be, because the other side doesn't look like it does too much. It seems to fall. The thing is, a lot of the time we've always got one good side and one bad side. Like, I've got a cow's lick here, which if you can probably see it sticking out there already, which that annoys the life out of me. So I can't really go for a parting because it just doesn't work. Again, with that, if it is sticking out, it's probably best to create the squareness and go higher with the clipper. Because if it does stick out, as long as it's cut square, it won't look like it's sticking out. You know what I mean? And then if you connect it over, if you connect both sides in, so you don't have it cut into a parting, and you connect both sides, you're leaving weight on that bit. So if you're bringing it down and connecting it onto the point of reference where you've cut with the clippers, you're leaving weight to help it sit flat. And that would help a lot. But I think either go with it or you have to leave it longer. But the only problem is if you leave more length in here, it does this. Yeah. So I think it's if you're happy with the overall look and it's just the side that sticks out, I wouldn't worry too much. I'd just go a bit higher on the blend. So I'd just square it off a bit higher up with the clipper work. That's what I would do. And it might be annoying that it grows out wide, but then the rest of the hair looks good. So it's kind of, unfortunately, it's that kind of...
so then you just have to get it clippered more often?
Yeah. In some ways. If that is your problem area, yeah, I would say so. Because otherwise you are almost, just for one side of the hair, you're compromising the whole look. So it's whether you compromise the whole look just because a little bit sticks out, or you go, do you know what, that's annoying, but everywhere else looks good. Right. So I'd say if the compromise is worth it, then do it. But if it's not, then I'd whip it off and just keep it nice and square with the clipper work.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. That's all I say. But I've got to say, honestly, hats off on the haircuts. You've done a good job. You've done a really good job. You really have.
It was quite hard placing one mirror and another mirror and then getting the clippers to doing it. It's not completely blended. At the back, I just grabbed a chunk and just snipped through and stuff like that and just hope for the best.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I think people have realised now, and I think the only benefit from me almost like losing my job now, not being able to cut hair, I think the only benefit of this is that it's made people realise how hard my job is. Because I think a lot of people think cutting hair is easy, and I think this has really shown them that it's not. So in some ways, it's kind of hopefully benefited my job in the long run by this, you know, which is the only, I'm trying to take positives out of the negatives here, to be honest, Jonathan. But yeah, I think it's made people realise it's not an easy thing to do, especially the amount of different styles you have to do. I know. But yeah, I think honestly, my advice is what you've got going on. I think looks good. I'll try and, because I know who you are on Instagram, I'll tag you a few, I'll send you a DM and I'll tag you some accounts to follow for haircuts that I think you could get some good reference, some good ideas from. And then when we get back out of it, then, you know, you can hopefully have a few different ideas to choose from. Like, you might like the back and sides of this guy and the top of this guy, and just try and get them to merge into your own kind of style would be quite nice. But I think I wouldn't change too much about what you're going on. I'd just say to you, just have the only point of disconnection, the fringe, because then, like I said, you'll get the same look you're looking for without the high maintenance of a full undercut. So that would be my best advice for you there. But other than that, cool. I think you're doing a good job.
Okay, thanks.
You've made this conversation very easy.
Sent you a couple of pictures to your message, to your
profile.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at them. Yeah, I'm going through them as we speak.
And one of them, there's a really definite side parting, and then this goes long and over, and then that's really cut short up here.
Okay.
Sort of thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll have a little look. I've got a lot of messages at the moment, which I need to go through, because a lot of them are, can you advise me on this? Can you advise me on this? They do take quite a while to go through. So I'll find yours after this, and I'll drop you a message later today. Okay. But yeah, I'll have to shoot, unfortunately, Jonathan. So thank you very much for your time. Thanks for doing this, and hopefully we might be able to do some more in the future. But do send me some. I'll have a look today. I'll message you back tonight, and I'll send you some things as well to hopefully give you some inspiration.
Okay, all right, brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Cheers. Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
All right,
bye.
bye.
Bye, mate. Take care. Right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the Virtual Barbershop. If you want to do it again and you feel like being a part of it, drop us a comment or email liam@regalgentleman.com. And I look forward to speaking to you. Thanks.
Perfect. Nice one, mate.
Thanks, mate. Take care.
See you later. Bye, mate.